Hello and welcome to the eComOps podcast. My name is Norbert and today I'm talking with Erik from Mini Materials. Hey Erik.
Hey Norbert, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Great to have you here.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Yeah, cool. Tell me a bit about yourself, Erik. So how did you get first into e-commerce?
So my business partner Matt Hoffma started Mini Materials in 2015,
Mhm.
and he thought it could explode and be something that was worthwhile, but he couldn't do it himself. So he brought me on a few months later, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. What do you sell on Mini Materials?
So we sell realistic miniature building supplies.
Mhm.
So think Legos or Lincoln Logs, connector sets, but all those are made of plastic. Ours are made of real material, the same real raw material that a regular building supply is made out of. We just make them much smaller so that you can play around with them on your desk.
Oh, really? That's cool. Who is your customers? So who's ordering those materials?
Oh, it's a large market. It's unbelievable how widespread it is. To be honest, it started out as just a novel desk accessory for folks sitting at their office space. Now we've got schools purchasing for educational purposes. We've got industry people purchasing them for promotional material. You can put your logo on the block or a pallet. And then there's plenty of diorama and hobbyists out there that enjoy building things with our products.
Cool. And where do you produce them yourselves, or do you have manufacturers?
We do all of the manufacturing in-house in America.
Wow. Uh-huh.
We've got a team here that does everything. It's all done by hand, so it's a pretty
Oh,
tedious
wow.
process.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's your e-com stack? What tech stack do you have?
So we work off of Shopify,
Hmm.
and then there's some ancillary things that we bring in to support the Shopify platform, but most of everything is an integration off of Shopify.
Cool. Well, the most interview partners that I have use Shopify, so it's really one of the best used software tools outside. Absolutely. And do you sell on any other channels, or just
Uh,
on Shopify?
yeah, we sell on Etsy. We've got other multi seller channels like Amazon, eBay. We're out there. We're in some wholesale markets like Fair and um, I forget the other one, but a few of those that are out there to hit the bookstores and gift shops and things.
Yeah. And is there a percentage where you would say this comes through the own store and this comes from the marketplaces?
So we sell probably about 90% of our annual revenue comes from our own .com,
Hmm.
our own Shopify shop. The other 10% is kind of a smorgasbord of all the other places that I talked about. But for the most part, it's all in-house, direct to consumer off Shopify, and we like it that way because the margins are better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. And is the Shopify store connected to all these other systems, or is this all yeah, so
A, a
hands
couple
supported?
A couple of them, by design, we've kept some separate, just because they don't collaborate that well. But the ones that do, that we can kind of efficiently work through fulfillment off of Shopify on one platform, we do that.
Mhm. And how do you fulfill the orders? So if there is no connection, what do you do to get the orders done?
We do it off-site. So
Hmm.
everything is in our own warehouse. We do our own pick, pack, and ship processes here. And so, if it comes from Etsy versus Shopify, it's just two different platforms that we kind of navigate between the two independently. And record keeping wise, everything kind of is done on through Shopify, but we ship out directly through Etsy.
So you get the Etsy order somehow imported or manually created into Shopify?
Yeah, they're manually created. Shopify used to have an integration between the two. I think Etsy wants to be on their own and be independent. Shopify still has Amazon integrations and
Yeah.
eBay, but Etsy is one that unfortunately we sell a decent amount off of there, but they want to be by themselves.
We're currently working on the integration with Etsy. So let's see, maybe we get you covered soon. Um, what do you have a team that is focused on operations, or is it only you? How do you plan that?
So we've got two operators, myself and my wife, that pretty
Yeah.
much run the show. We do all quality control and fulfillment, and then I do all the sales calls and pretty much the accounting. For the most part, everything operations is done by myself and my wife. Manufacturing, we've got two employees that do all of our manufacturing and packing in our shop, and then my business partner is our graphic designer, and marketing is pretty much his kind of cup of tea at this point.
Mhm. Understand. And what do you do to ensure that your customers have constantly the same experience across all your channels?
Um, you know, the the novelty of what we sell in general is the wow factor. So people just are very giddy when they jump on our platform and they see all the crazy things that we come up with. And we do our best to make sure that the process is streamlined, very efficient. We live in a day and age that Amazon pre-COVID was shipping, within 2 days, you'd have your product. So that makes it difficult for us when we're a small shop, but we try and keep up with that as well. There's an expectation out there for e-commerce customers to expect their products quickly. And so we try and maintain that as well. And for the most part, I think that's the enjoyable experience, is that even for a small shop like us, we're efficient enough to maintain that turnaround time and make sure that they're completely satisfied when they receive their goodies in the mail.
So being quick is most important thing in e-commerce at the moment, I think.
Yeah,
So
Amazon's definitely made that the case. It's sometimes
yeah,
it's very difficult and stressful, but it's the way we live today. It's I want it now society or world, and
yeah,
we're trying to keep up with that.
yeah. Is Corona somehow affecting your business?
It is in two different ways. On the sales side, we've been busier than we've ever been. I think people are at home. E-commerce is up. They can't go to the stores. They can't go out and eat a bunch of food, so they've got some disposable income. So they are buying. So our sales are definitely good the last few months. The supply chain has been a little difficult. Most of what we do is in-house, but we do source some stuff from other places, some of it overseas, and which makes it a little difficult when you're waiting on boats to arrive instead of airplanes with the products. So we've seen both sides of it. It's good on one hand that we've got this traffic, but we've got to make sure that we don't over promise and under perform for our customers. So we want to make sure that we don't miss sales just because we can't have the product in house. So it's been different. We're all navigating it. I think pretty much the same for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Everybody has a
yeah.
different way it's affecting them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good that at least the e-commerce market is not that affected and it's still growing, but the offline market it's really hard, I think, at the moment for everyone that is not yet online. And did you face any significant downtime or destruction of your service, technical wise? And did you learn something out of that, or everything cool with
Um,
Shopify?
we haven't. Shopify's been really good, and I know for instance we're very our sales are up, so I'm pretty confident many other e-commerce platforms are, and Shopify hasn't missed a beat. The shipping side of things, it has gotten a little difficult. Everybody's shipping 1,000 packages, it seems like. And so, the post office is down, or the United States Post Office has slowed down their shipping a little bit. FedEx and UPS and DHL are a couple days behind the normal, which is understandable given the fact that the volume is so high right now. So that's probably the only technical issues we've seen, is some of the shipping platforms have been a little bit slower than normal.
Okay, well, that's not the biggest problem, I'd say, but it's still the fact that users want to get their goods quickly. So, but I think that people have an understanding at the moment if something comes late. So I think this is doable. And do you have any plans for any further automations in your company? Is this an important thing for you?
Yeah, manufacturing wise, it's something of a goal for us. Right now, most of our products are handmade, which when you're trying to scale up, that becomes difficult because you're waiting on concrete or cement to dry. So we've added a few things that have made us capable of producing at scale. At higher volumes, which has gotten us into some of the big box stores pre-COVID, and had some better successes there. We're always learning. This is an interesting industry in a sense that there are people doing what we're doing, just in larger formats. And so we're trying to take some of those industry standards and mimic them, but in miniature scale. And there's a lot of science involved. Cement at this small of a size, you've got to make sure that the aggregate and the chemistry in the solution is perfect, so that when you're shipping it to Austria, for instance, we can get it there and it's not broken in half. It's difficult. So there's a lot of automation that we are continuously researching and trying to develop. We've figured out, I'd probably say 20% of the 100% that I'd like to get to. But we've got several things in play right now that if we can automate, will become extremely more valuable, because we can scale up to Lego size. For instance, we'll be able to do 10,000 unit runs instead of 200 unit runs. It's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. This is automation is the key to further growth, if you do it the right way.
Yep.
What will your DevOps team, your ops team, be focused in the next 12 months?
We're, like I said, kind of circling back to the automation. Most of us are looking at better ways to do everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to improve the efficiency, lower our cost of goods to increase our margins, and then also expand our exposure into different markets. I think we're living in a different time now, where yesterday's goal was to get into a Walmart or a big box store across the world. That may not be the case as we come out of this COVID situation. So we're trying to adapt, trying to figure out where we can expand our operations and our exposure and our market. So we're constantly looking for new and innovative ways to be more profitable and have a lot more brand equity.
Mm-hmm. My last question for today. Who has taught you the most about e-commerce in your career?
So that's an interesting question. So most of what myself and Matt, my business partner, have learned through this is through trial and error. It's self-taught. Nobody was really doing what we were doing 5 years ago when we started. So now that we've got some competition, they've mimicked us, and at least they've had somebody to kind of lean on and look at with how to do what we're doing. Most of what we do now is, we're big Reddit forum fans. So we're on Reddit Entrepreneur and other Reddit forums and other forums for that matter with entrepreneurs and startup business folks like us. So we've done a lot of collaborating with other people that have had cool concepts and cool products that have been able to grow them over the last few years. And so that's kind of, unfortunately, we read a lot of books, but there's no one person that that really has made us who we are in e-commerce. It's really all self-taught.
Reddit and Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Erik, thank you so much for your time for this interview. It was really great. So we've seen that you have learned a lot from try and error, and from Google and Reddit, and that shipping needs to be quick for the users. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it was really a pleasure to learn about your product, and I wish you good luck with it.
Thanks, Norbert. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.